Hmm? No, yeah. It's been a minute. Now it's going to be about an hour and a half. We're back. Hey everybody, Haz-Matt here for episode 3 of the ALTcast. Thanks for joining us. We've learned a lot of things since the last episode came out. Personally, that mask acne is a thing, I need better lighting, and we're still trying to work out a schedule, but we've got something in the works so that we'll be getting you these much more regularly. Alright, so what are we going on about today? Problematic movies from our childhood. We're going to share some, not all of, but some of the more embarrassing stories from being DJs. We are going to talk about wrestling because I think we're just flat out required to. And at one point, Endo even remembers that we do a show, and he shows up towards the end. O-Dog never does, though. We're going to make that happen. He's a busy man. All right, so stick with us. Here we go, episode 3.
You can't be making that movie now.
Oh. Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, so many of these movies that you look back on, and it's just like, they're so good. They made so much of an impact on my childhood and growing up. And now you go back and look at it, and you're like, oh, wow. Yeah. I don't know what that was saying to me and what I internalized back then. Like,
exactly.
One of the great movies that I remember growing up, Revenge of the Nerds.
Yes.
That movie was, that was awesome. I love that one. And you go back now, and you're just kind of like, Lewis kind of, like, that was sexual assault because she didn't know what was going on. Like, that is not good. Yeah. And I want to root for the nerds, but at the same time, it's like, the peeping Tom thing was actually not cool either.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah, as a kid, you don't really understand it. It's kind of like listening to a song. You know, the solos, everything. You can, like, hum it and all that. And as a kid, you do that for movies. And when you grow up, and you're like, oh, that's why they went up to the moon, and that's why she's like, you're that nerd. Like, he R-word her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, willingly. So she thought it was somebody else, and
you know what? It's pretty bad when you think about it now. Homegirl couldn't tell the difference between her boyfriend and the nerd.
Yeah, she's a whore.
You know what I'm saying? Think about that now too. It's like,
ain't nothing wrong with that, all right?
Like homegirl did not know, like what the hell did they, like, all of a sudden your boyfriend just changed technique like all overnight? Or
he's like, you never done this before.
I'm like, what the hell? How did you not know that stuff?
He's suddenly missing his abs. Oh well.
Right, exactly. Oh well.
or his hair, or his long
he lost some muscle mass. And biceps aren't as big as they used to be all of a sudden. It's all right though. It's all right.
Jeez.
Oh boy. Yeah. And did you see that, movie. Now that in front of streaming Blazing Saddles, there's like a speech or something that they play. I haven't gone in to check it out yet, but it's all basically like, this is a product of its time, and you're about to hear the N-word a whole lot.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what made that movie funny too. At the same time, it's like how it picked on those stereotypes. You know what I mean? And it poked fun at it.
That's an interesting line to draw, because while I agree that, like, I think certain movies probably should have a, hey, keep this in a contextual context. Like, I hated the movie Breakfast at Tiffany's. Go back and watch that, and that's really bad. Like, that's like the Asian stereotype play up and all that. Like, it's bad. There's was it Gone with the Wind? Like, all these movies have certain things where you're like, yeah, I get that. And if you actually say, if all it is, hey, this is the purpose of this, just heads up, contextualize it, I get that. But at the same time, it does feel like there's kind of that line in between of, are they using the N-word or like a ethnic slur or something like that to literally be like, oh, this person's demeaned? Or is it done in the way to, like, using it makes the person using it look bad? Like, I don't know. It's a fuzzy line, and I don't know if there's even a distinguishing about that. But
well, like, look at a good one too is look at Tropic Thunder.
Oh.
You know what I mean? There was no context whatsoever. You know, there was nothing in the beginning. You just watch that and you're like, oh, did he just go there? Oh, okay. Yeah, well, we're just gonna roll with this one.
And that's one of those things where it's like, honestly, in so many ways, I think that movie is genius.
Yes.
But yeah, I get that that there are aspects of it that are problematic. And honestly, I thought that the problematic aspects of it, like Robert Downey Jr.'s role, kind of made it, like, that's partly what made it genius. Like, they were poking fun at the concept of that.
Yeah.
That was so great. Dude, every single character in that movie could have had their own entire film, and it would have been good, and it would have still had more meat on the bones than most movies in the last 10 years.
Les Grossman needs a movie.
Oh my God. And I am not a big Tom Cruise fan, but yeah, Les Grossman, that was so good.
He needs a movie. Like, for real, that man needs a movie.
Just that, like, breakdown dance.
I need big hands so he can.
Yeah, that weird inflatable, like, it looked like when Weird Al did Eat It. Yeah, it was just like that. Oh.
But Robert Downey Jr., like Nicholas Cyrus, is like he's an Australian guy acting like a black dude
from the American South. Yeah, like
I'm like, oh God, this is winners.
I'm a dude playing another dude.
I'm a dude.
My absolute favorite line from that movie, though, was just like when they're trying to sneak in and like be undercover. And it's like, what kind of farmer are you? I'm a lad farmer, mother. That was the best action movie line.
My favorite is when they're walking through the shrubbery or whatever, and the guy in the back is talking about PlayStations and porn and all that. He's like, but that's there, whatever. And they turn around and he's like, you talking to me the whole time?
Are you talking to me? Like, oh God,
yeah, you're talking to me the whole time. I was like, dude, I can rewind it and watch it like 50 times. Oh, the movie is so great. This movie is so great.
Who here is the key grip? Which one of you is the key grip? Yeah. Walk up to him and punch him in the face. Oh God.
As hard as you can.
I might have to rewatch that one too. I saw A Knight's Tale last night, and I loved it so much.
Oh yes.
And you know how last time we were talking about on Netflix, you got to turn on the subtitles sometimes, especially for something like Hamilton on Disney Plus. Like, so I've just left the subtitling on for a lot of stuff now, and there are lines that I completely missed. And like for A Knight's Tale, I know so many lines from that movie, and I love them all. But there's one where it's like at one of the first contests that they go to, where there's just a barker walking up and down the crowd. Yeah, and he's selling like his food and drink, and I didn't know what exactly he was selling until I saw the subtitles for it, and it goes, "Cat's meat, hot wine. It's the meat of a cat on a skewer and hot, gross wine. Nice. Cat's meat, hot wine." And I was just like, "That's
sound like the
yeah. It's street meat from when you get done with a block party in Chinatown after too late.
Get your hot cat here."
That's not saying anything about Chinatown. It's saying something about the street meat vendors. All right.
Yeah.
I don't want to make that abundantly clear. I feel like I have to do that.
Disclaimer: we are not here to make. We're not here to disrespect Chinatown or any of its.
Hey, I live there. I enjoy it. It's fine.
We love cats. We all love cats here.
I'm allergic to cats.
Okay. Except Shawn. Shawn doesn't.
Yeah,
Shawn does not. Shawn doesn't.
Hate him.
He's a manatee guy.
Love manatees.
That's it. You ever see that? You've seen the Jim Gaffigan bit about that? About a manatee being on, was it Jerry Springer or something? Oh my God.
No.
You got to go back and check that. It's one of his earlier specials where he's like, "I'm the sea cow and I just want to float around all day." And it's like someone in the audience got to start something, stands up like, "This question's for the sea pig. I'm a sea cow." "Whatever, sea pig. You need to get yourself a diet and a job. Like, it's so good. Yeah. Oh my God. Jim Gaffigan, truly brilliant. All right, I got a question for you guys. When you first started getting on the air, did you have someone in mind that you were trying to be like? Whether it was another DJ or some other personality? They're like, all right, I need to think or act or something like this, because a lot of people do that when they first get on the mic. Right. Is they try and come up with a character, and that character is usually a lot like someone famous and well known.
Oh, I don't think I came up with anybody famous or well known. I was just trying to be like, so prior to coming on air, I used to have to input the shows at the time for Bomb. We used to have Tati would send her tracks in from the mainland.
Right.
So it was my job to take her voice tracks, put them into the system, you know, and all that fun stuff, right?
Because everything is super live and legit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. So I'm putting her tracks in, and I'm like, for me, that was my only real taste of hearing somebody live on air, was listening to her, put the tracks in, like, oh, that's how you do it. So when I got on air, I was like, oh, I got to sound like Tati, because apparently that's how you do it, right?
Well, Tati's a good jock, so
yeah,
I mean,
so I was like,
it's not a horrible thing.
That's not. So I was like, that's who I probably sounded like at first, was trying to sound like Tati. I couldn't make the female voice, though. I couldn't do it, but I tried my best.
You could have made so much more money if you could. Like $3.99 for the first minute, $1.99 for each additional.
Call me now,
Call me now. Yeah, you
Call me now, Miss
Cleo.
See,
I'll tell you how you die.
Hello there.
Shawn, how about you?
Well, I didn't really act like somebody. It was just me being dumb, which is the easiest thing in the world that I could do. I first started with Augie, so like you go for the locals, right? You know, like listening. So you gotta throw in the, hey, what's up, baby? You know, you gotta do the pigeon and all that. But when I went to alt, it's kind of like I'm talking like this. So you go from dude to brada. You know, like you do the brada thing on the paina, it's still paina, and you go to alt for the dude thing. So like, yeah, I wasn't really trying to be like anybody. It was me. You know?
Yeah.
It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy being me, because I'm me. 25/7.
Yeah, you realize that's actually not something that a lot of people figure out for a good long time. It's amazing. Like when I kind of like what you were saying, 720. I had my job originally, before I got on the air regularly, was to do inputting, and the show that I would input was Loveline with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla.
Oh, there you go.
So my take on it was like, I have kind of a natural nasally tone, and so does Adam Carolla. So I was like, okay, maybe I just need to lean into it. So when I first started, I was very much trying to just do like a kind of like a pointed thing. And that fortunately, it did not last too long. I started to listen back to myself and I'd be like, I want to punch me. Like Adam Carolla can get away with it. I just want to punch myself.
Where's the grip? Call the grip.
Well, hey, that's cool. That means I'm the director. I'm going to get decked in the face. At least I got a good job. But no, the other thing that used to come in is that like, I'd always try and bookmark things that I didn't want to hear, because there were so many people out there that had puker styles. Have you guys ever heard that term? Like, don't be a puker?
Yeah.
Okay.
Puker is, actually, Adam Carolla did jokes about this as well. But it would just be that guy who's like, hey, how are you doing? Where it sounded like someone put an echo in audition and then reversed it. You know, hey, how you doing? That's right. We're coming at you. That's right. All up in your ear hole. We've got the latest hits for you. And it's always that bleh. That's why it was called a puker voice. It just had that kind of
94.
Exactly. I've got an air cannon in the back of my throat, punching out individual syllables.
Yeah.
My nipples are hard like Chinese arithmetic.
Ah!
Exactly. So there were so many people that had that, and then there was that there was a version of the puker that we kind of just called the butt rocker. It was all like those. It was all those old dudes that just wanted to share like their crappy backstage stories of like, that's when the girl knew what she had to do to get a backstage. Like it just had that type of. It was a puker, but it was like it's a really slow trickle of vomit coming out the side of my mouth. Yeah. It's like if someone was like, start with Casey Kasem and then perv it, like just enough.
Kind of like the guy from Office Space, you know, the one that lives next to the dude. Like, what would you do with $1 million? It's like, that's sick. Girls.
Two girls at the same time, dude. A little bit, but Diedrich Bader was funny about it. These are guys that are like, nothing I like better than a greasy beach from a sweaty Betty. Yeah, buddy. Like, I couldn't stand those, so I was like, I gotta get to a different voice as fast as I can.
Yeah. Oh my god, that would be epic though. Club.
So how did you find it though? It just did you?
Yeah, well, it was a lot of me just talking like me, and I just, you know, like a little bit of a nasally tone, whatever. And then I think everybody in radio starts to go through second puberty. Mm-hmm. It's where you have to project anytime like the spotlight's put on you do those public speaking techniques. And that's the way I was able to get it across to a lot of clients when they would come in to do voice work. It's like, you're speaking to a good friend who happens to be on the other side of a crowd of 100, 200 people. Mm-hmm. So you've got to project a little more. You got to add a little bit of a more, if you're a dude at least, try to add a little bit of bass to it, you know, whatever it is. And just, you're trying to send that over everybody. So it becomes like a microphone delivery at some point. And then when you start talking normally, you keep a little bit of that, and it's just a second puberty. So a lot of people will have that like tonal change that comes around.
Oh yeah.
And it just kind of, it settled on like that. I still get annoyed by my voice from time to time. And then I'll have people that come up and be like, you have a very lovely speaking voice. I'm like, you're a liar, but thank you.
You should be on radio. You should be on radio. Like, okay.
Oh, great, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I get part-time wages to do a full-time morning show? Can I be the banner show again on a radio station for next to nothing, and then be fired and have it be because of budgetary cuts when I was really no expenditure for me? Ooh. You make 2 sales, you pay for my entire yearly salary. You should be like, that's fine, right? All right. Hey. Now that I get a little bit farther away, there's a little bit of me that's more and more willing to do a pipe bomb. And I'm not, and it's going to eventually come out. But then again, maybe that's just like my technique to get people to listen to more and more ALTcast. So once we can get I do not know where the hell Greg is. He was supposed to be here, and yes, O-Dog too. But the next time we can get all 5 of us on the show, maybe then we'll actually do a legitimate pipe bomb. Let's talk about some real radio facts.
I think we're gonna have to. That we're gonna have to be at the bar for that one at some point. I think that pipe bomb's gonna need some alcohol.
I'm okay with that.
I think we're gonna need some alcohol with that pipe bomb.
Whew. Hey, I expecto Patron for that one, and I am all good.
Yes.
If we make that happen, I'm more than happy to.
That'll be the one right there. So future episode, guys, be waiting for that.
I love radio, and I'd still love to do radio, and I'm not looking to badmouth anyone in particular, but I'm more than happy to be like, look, this is the type of stuff that I hate and I think is done poorly. Yeah. More than happy to do that. Whatever.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, at this point, I'm not like sitting here thinking, I've got to claw my way back into the business. No.
Nah.
I'm okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh yeah.
One of the reasons why I was bringing up like character delivery and stuff like that is that I'm curious, of all time, since this is the right audience, and again, I wish the other 2 were here for this one.
Right.
Who do you think were the best mic men in professional wrestling? Because that's one of my influences. And now since there's only 3 of us, and I know we could all talk forever on this.
Yeah.
3. Let's go for 3. 3. Who are your top 3?
Oh, Sean's ready right there.
Oh man, all right, you're ready. So then Sean, let's start with you.
Dude, I'm gonna have to say, well, I just Roddy Piper. I mean, he's one of them. Dusty Rhodes. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's a guy that got this with Hot Times, that. Jeez, Punk was always up there, man. Punk is he's a good guy.
Yeah.
There's also another dude. I mean, I can say Hulk Hogan, but Hulk Hogan was basic, I guess. Basic, whatever he says.
True. He was the Ryu of the entire thing. Like he was the middle ground. And it wasn't that he was bad or that it was basic. It's like he kind of started and elevated basic. So you didn't have to do anything else because everyone else needed to differentiate from him, not the other way around.
Right.
He was cash cow. So like whatever he said, oh dude, he's gonna sell so much merch.
That should have been one of his
stuff. Also Mick Foley.
Bless you, kind sir. Mick Foley is the pinnacle of all. He is my absolute favorite wrestler of all time.
Yeah.
Triple H, I'm gonna come over there. Dude, like, his deliveries, either it's Cactus Jack, dude, love was cool, but
Cactus Jack.
Dude,
I appreciated the fact that he incorporated everything into what he did. So he is one of mine. But like when he would come out and his whole thing with Mankind, and I didn't realize this fully until I read the book, his first book, is that he came out and Mankind's original introduction music was very heavy and like, this kind of a thing. Until he won. As soon as he defeated you and put you down and like hurt you in some horrible way, his exit music was very calm.
Yeah.
Because that's what calmed down Mankind, was winning by violence.
That was all by me.
And everything that he said and all the crazy stuff that he did that eventually evolved into like Sacco, or even when he went back as Mick Foley and he was the commissioner and he had that shirt that said commissioner, like, because it ran out of space, or commissionary position. And I was like, everything was to the end for like the presentation. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
I also got to give credit to my other two. Stone Cold. I have to give it to Stone Cold because that guy, like, I think it's honestly because he's so thoughtful in how he does that stuff. That it became muscle memory. Like you've seen the whole bit about Austin 3:16 says, "I just whooped your ass," was something that he just flew out with on the spot. Like he didn't make that up, which I thought was brilliant. But it's also the fact that everything he does now is just muscle memory when he delivers that type of thing. Right. When someone comes up with a, "Hey man," and like assumes something about him, and he puts people in their place, and he does that in that loud, speaks with all caps kind of way, and has that built-in thing of just like, and that's the bottom, like you're gonna argue after that? Like you can't. You can't.
Say, I'll do my homework, Dad. Don't worry, I'll do my homework.
It's the verbal equivalent. It's the verbal equivalent of walking out and slamming the door. It's like, well, I could continue this argument, but there's no one here to listen to. Like,
exactly.
Just lose. And the other one is, believe it or not, and I think this is just a personal pick for me, Road Dogg. I really dug Road Dogg.
Agreeable.
Yeah,
yes,
just totally agree. Like he as a wrestler, I thought he was good, but the reason why he was so good in the ring was because he got the microphone.
Off the cuff things that he say.
Just that. Just the whole presentation. Like, oh, you didn't know? And just all the little stuff.
Yeah.
The fact that it was like, he should be the one who talks for the entirety of DX until it's time to say suck it. That should be the thing. That was great.
Shoot.
720, how about you? Who you got?
Number one is Ric Flair. Ric Flair.
Yeah.
That guy like made me want to be him. Like all of us, I'm like, yo, I want a private jet. I want them Gators and shoes for like $500. He made me believe.
Yeah.
You know, for real, man. That guy made you believe. You got to live that life to be the man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even as a kid, you're like, that. Oh my God.
I want platinum hair like that.
You got to have the hair. You know, you got to have the 3-4 women around you. You know, like dude, his just the way he.
If you're not rolling up in a limo, you're not rolling up.
That's you're not rolling up. You know, and he made you believe. You know what I mean? When he talked, he was on that mic. Oh, he just made you believe. Like, oh God,
yeah. He had that kind of like that televangelist feel to him. You know, as soon as when the Holy Spirit enters, and you're just like, that was just him at all times, and you're like, I don't think he ever stops.
No,
like he.
Until they go, woo! You know, that's his period. Woo!
Yeah.
And then, you know.
He walks out to get the mail, and he's just like, electric mail, woo! Like that just.
You got mail, woo!
Publishing clearinghouse, woo!
I believe it. All right, so Ric Flair, who are your other two?
My second one is Randy Macho Man Savage.
Oh man!
Ooh, I like what you're thinking.
Because
I can't do a Macho Man, but I love to try. It's so much fun.
But you just watch it and you're like, how does he keep doing that?
Because this is the only thing in the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah. He's talking like this. How does he do that with his throat and not freaking hurt his throat?
He gargles with gunpowder. Does a shot of tequila.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
But
Bonesaw is ready.
Exactly.
You got the ending too, ready?
That's the best. That was Bonesaw is ready.
You know, and so
I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, just want to watch it. His whole the mannerisms. That's what it was too. You know.
I think I've got a theme for you because so far Ric Flair and Macho Man, both of them constantly talk like they're halfway through having an embolism. Like just that, like,
ooh.
Yeah.
That's like, wait, let me do that loud.
Like something. Like I think. When does this interview end? When the blood vessel bursts.
Yeah.
I think that's when that happens.
I'm done.
Go to the hospital. I gotta go to the hospital.
Snap into an IV. All right, so Ric Flair, Macho Man. Who's your third?
And my third is the one that probably the game changer for me was The Rock.
Yeah.
That guy once he changed the mic game, for at least for me. The Rock was more dynamic as a mic person than he was even in the ring, in my opinion.
You got to give him credit because, like, honestly, how do you sell some of those things? The Rock bottom was incredible, but the People's Elbow was stupid as hell. It was stupid as hell, but you believed it. Because he mic'd that up. Like that was just the thing.
Right. You know, and he came up with so many things that people even say today still. Like, like you watch any wrestler, like they say jabroni because of freaking Rock. You know what I mean? Everything is like something about pie or this and that. It's because of The Rock, you know? His promos are good, you know?
One of the big three legs of WWE is a show that's named after one of his catchphrases. SmackDown.
There you go.
That's just
SmackDown. Yeah. There you go. You know.
I think your runner up out of all of them is John Cena. I mean, sorry if you're gonna spit out your water, but
John Cena. Hey, I am a John Cena fan. I am a John Cena fan,
dude.
Like as just a person, he's good. He's just
super
I dig
awesome.
the dude.
Yeah. I mean, he does great work. I mean, you can't complain with John Cena, man. He brings it, you know.
Yeah. The point is, like, what I like is whether he wins or loses, he's jobbing. Like he's looking to put you over, whether he wins or loses. It does not matter, and that comes out in like just the atmosphere around his mic skills and all that.
Yeah.
And just because I know he would be screaming at the computer if we didn't say anything, this one's for O-Dog. You got to mention Jericho.
Oh, yes.
Jericho is beyond. Every single person that we've talked about has done so because their character pushes something.
Right.
Jericho's one of the few people that will take whatever it is that the audience wants and then take it away from them. Mm-hmm. And to that end, it's character brilliance. Yeah. And honestly, like it's and it doesn't surprise me that these two did not like each other from what I can tell. I mean, I might be wrong, but did not seem to like each other. But Jericho and CM Punk both just walked right up to it and was like, no, this is something real that I'm going to use for us and against us. And that's balls to the wall. And so I've got to give Jericho so much credit to be like, to play up something that catches and the audience is just wanting it. And then he'll bring it up. And then, nope, not going to give it to you. Yep. And it's like, yeah, because he's the heel, you ass. That's the best thing, is that he's just going to make you hate. Anyway.
And you know what's so good about them? Like, they can read crowds.
Yeah.
You know, that's like a lot of charisma. You got to just feel the energy and feel the crowd. And like, sometimes they say off the cuff kind of stuff, but like, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's genius kind of work. So
I saw an interview done with Triple H one time, who's another person who I think is really good. Triple H was a guest star on the Drew Carey show. I loved that sitcom, but yeah, he was on the Drew Carey show. And I guess there was this point where it's like, he's getting ready to go on blah, blah, blah. And everyone knows that he has never done a sitcom or anything like that before. So I guess the director was talking to him. He's like, so, you come out, you do that stuff and blah, 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 blah. Depending on how it goes and the audience reaction or whatever, we can rewind and do it. We'll just be able to do it again. But is it going to be weird to do that and like expect the crowd and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I do live theater every week for 3 hours a night in front of tens of thousands of people. Like, I'm fine.
I'm good.
Yeah, he's like, I'm fine. And then it was like the director was like, yeah, he did it right the first time. Like, every time, it's just
you're live. You mess up live. You look like Sid Vicious.
Yeah. If you don't know your lines, you better know how to bounce back. Yeah.
Still the best Shockmaster. Oh my God.
I did a meme or whatever. It's like, I've been doing this 2020 in a nutshell, and I put like the clip of Shockmaster.
Oh my God.
How it is. It's so like funniest thing ever.
Worst promo ever, right there. Shockmaster. And even think about this for a second too. Like, who came up with the character? Like, yo, let's take a stormtrooper helmet and bedazzle that thing and throw it on a guy's head. Like, for real. Like, what?
From what I heard, I think it was Dusty Rhodes.
Oh my goodness.
like, because he was a booker.
Right.
And yeah, he just told him, this is what you're gonna do, the Shockmaster and all that and stuff. There's a clip on YouTube about Dusty talking about it, and it's the most funniest thing ever.
We're gonna put a bedazzled helmet on this dude's head.
Yeah,
that you can barely see out of it.
And the voice is Ole Anderson.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah.
Ole Anderson.
He just falls into the scene like it's so.
Yeah. Go on YouTube. Like it's like the Legends of Wrestling. Remember they had that whole talk. Like Mean Gene was there. Sometimes Doc Hendricks, what's his name from Freebirds?
Yeah, Michael Hayes.
Von Erichs from Freebirds. A little Stone Cold. Yeah. But it's a funny clip. Yeah.
Still, man. That's some failed stuff right there in wrestling. Not everything's like friggin' the best promo. Like, you gotta imagine this. You look back at wrestling, you see some of like those failed characters. You think like Shockmaster, and like or like what other failed characters you guys remember from
Man of War?
Oh my God!
What is it? I actually am not up to date. What's up?
He was like, I think he had a mask, like a yellow mask. He kind of looked like not Ultraman, but it was like. Yeah, it was. I think that was just Incredible.
Yeah.
It's like Matt Moore or something. Yeah, it was just so weird.
It was like
I was watching Stone Cold podcast with Kane, and Isaac Yankem.
Isaac Yankem, yep, the dentist.
What he? And he
was they now have a dentist on AEW, right? She's she kicks ass. She's really really good at the ring, and she's like, she's a dentist.
Maybe she can sell it better than Kane did.
I mean, dude. But
I was like, I remember that. What else was there? I try to think. Was it
Ringmaster?
Ringmaster.
Oh yeah.
What was the one with Hulk Hogan when he came? When he was like
Mr.
America or something? I'm like.
Hunter Hearst Helmsley's, before he was Triple H.
That was okay. Yeah, you needed.
He's a man, such a man, Steven Regal.
Oh,
Steven
yeah.
Yeah, the manly man, Steven Regal. That's
good.
He
and
was
he'd have that British
Hunter
accent where you're like, it doesn't matter if you're a man, you just sound ridiculous.
Yeah. He should have just
like why? Yeah, he's like he's dressed up like a full. And again, this is all preconceived stereotypes and whatnot, but it's like he looks like he's straight off. Like his whole intro was like he was straight off a Midwest construction site.
Yeah.
And then he'd come out and he'd be like, full on British accent, and you're just like,
no.
Say what now?
No.
Oh, I forgot another guy, good promo guy. I don't know if you see it, Jake
the Snake.
Oh,
totally forgot. I mean, if you listen to all his promos,
the king of the psychological.
It's like I'm thinking of it. I get chicken skin just because, like,
right.
The best ever. You know? Yeah, Jake still is. So
yeah, scary good.
Robin. But watching him on Beyond the Mat was that was depressing though, man.
Yeah.
Which one was
Beyond the Mat?
Oh yeah, dude, yeah.
That was like the height of the Rock versus Sock and Jake the Snake and all that. Ugh.
I was like, oh man, that was hard to watch.
But if you want to see something heartwarming, you got to watch the DDP one with
Resurrection,
him, where it like was it the resurrection of Jake the Snake? Like that's good stuff.
So good.
Oh man, that just went into a whole big wrestling thing. I was just curious about like mic skills, stuff like that. All right.
Well, it kind of ties into like the radio, and you do have to have mic skills. You do have to think off the cuff sometimes. Sometimes things don't work or whatever, and you got to like, we reword your words and all that. And so,
what was your worst radio experience? Do you guys have one where you're just like, either you messed up or somebody else messed up, and it just like it sticks with you?
Well, I'm trying to think.
Well, I'll give you one while you're thinking, just to warm you up. Okay. First one, this is one where I messed up. I was relatively new to being a jock, and I had, like, my thing was an overnight one. I might have actually said this one before. I forget. So long in between recording sessions. But I was relatively new DJ. I was doing the overnights on the old 97.5 K-Boy. And I had a gig at, I think O-Dog was there for this. I had a gig at one of the bars on base at the Kaneohe Marine Corps base. So I had to do the whole thing where, you do the check-in and blah, 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 go in. Really nice bar restaurant, obviously. Really nice. Super cool. We do this thing where it's like we do some games, we do some back and forth. And then just for the hell of it, because we just had extra time to kill and we were supposed to be there anyway, we set up an Xbox 360 on this massive projection screen, and we played Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball.
Nice.
Which is the one where all the ninja girls in bikinis are doing, visual effects. Or like a Mortal Kombat or a Street Fighter or something, I don't even remember. And then at the end of the whole thing, we were supposed to bring on a band. We actually weren't supposed to do that. It was just something that the band came up, was like, hey, would you guys introduce us? And we're like, yeah, we're still around, so we'll do that, blah, blah, blah. So they tell me their name, and then they go off, and I'm doing a bunch of stuff to try and clean it up. And then I have to go up there, and I take the microphone. I have no idea what the band's name is.
Oh.
It's either Rocket Science or Rocket Scientists. And I'm just like, all right, so blah, 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 thanks for coming out. And I do my whole spiel. And it's like, now here it is, Rocket Scientist. I just walk off, and I'm like, okay. I like literally just walked right out the door. Went from the mic straight out the door. To this day, I am humiliated, and I don't remember that band's name. I feel so bad.
You're like Klaatu, Barata.
I just picked up the Necronomicon and I walked the F out. Yeah. That one was a nightmare. I've had a couple of bad interviews where people that you're trying to get talk just answer with, yeah. I can't stand that. Like in real life, if you ask somebody a question and their answer is like, okay.
And your brain is like this. Your brain is like,
yeah. Everything about you is like,
yeah.
And I had an event one time, and I'm not trying to put anybody on blast, but oh well, here we go.
Hey.
This was and again, I'm not placing a blame. I'm just saying that circumstances conspire.
It's what happened.
I have never done an event at one of the Chinatown block parties that didn't have some kind of severe complication. They're fun to attend, but logistically, for some reason, there's always something that. So there were a few times where we just had to get up there, and O-Dog's got more of these stories than me, even I think, but I don't want to speak for him But there was one time where it's like we were just up there vamping for 20 minutes while they tried to figure out what they're. And if you're planned with nothing, you have nothing. Your job is to go up there, list sponsors, and then welcome on a band or usher in a costume contest or whatever it is that's going on. Cool.
Right.
If you have nothing for like 20, 30 minutes and you're just vamping on stage, that's exceptionally difficult.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a musician and I'm not a comedian. I'm just like up there.
Hey.
And there was one time right before a costume contest where everything went just totally was starting to fall apart. I could tell that something was falling apart, but I couldn't tell why. None of the costume contest judges were there. None of the costume contest participants were there. And then a couple of police officers come up. So O-Dog's like, vamp, I'll find out what's going on. So I'm just up there interacting with the crowd, doing whatever I can.
My name is Matthew. M-A-T-T.
Haz-Matt, spelled H-A-Z-M. No. And then all of a sudden, from off to the side, like I see O-Dog go off to talk to somebody, and then the cop who's just off stage pulls out their flashlight and just starts shining it at me in my eyes. And I'm like, I look off to the side, I'm like, what's up? And he goes, we just had a tsunami watch kick in. Everyone has to leave.
But without causing a panic.
Yeah.
When was
this?
I'm like, when was this?
I forget. It was like the second or third tsunami that we had, where we had the watch and then nothing happened, thank goodness.
That's not the one during the earthquake from Japan? Not that one.
Fukushima, it was like the last weekend of October. That's all I remember because of it was a Halloween event.
Oh yeah, okay, gotcha.
And so I was just like, okay. So I get on the mic and I'm like, okay, everybody, I've just been informed that we have been upgraded from a tsunami warning to tsunami watch, blah, 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 or whatever the version is. Watch, warning, the more severe one. It's like, so everyone needs to head out for your safety, blah, blah, blah. And I'm trying to remain calm. And these two drunk girls that were dressed like half-naked Pocahontas, I don't know what they're called. They're standing right in front of the stage, and they're like, what about that costume contest? It's like $1,000. And I just look at her, and everything has gone so weirdly. This was just a culmination of a lot of weird stuff that I'm on the mic, and I look at her, and I go, well, I'm glad your priorities are in order, but how about you go survive? And everybody kind of stops and looks at me like, did he just tell off the drunk Pocahontas? And then I realize, oh, wait, I'm not allowed to be a jerk. And so I'm like, if you could kindly head home, please wait. We might be able to reschedule this for another day. But for right now, make sure you're safe.
Right.
And yeah, and it just became this thing of like, I got bombarded with people going like, we want our money. It's like, you didn't even compete. We want to compete. I'm like, all right. Store-bought bikinis with tassels. Yeah, you're a great costumer. Like, I don't.
Where are you? A whore?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. But
like,
nothing wrong with
like what? Okay.
That first one was the worst. The other one was just a mild, like, this keeps happening so much.
Oh.
Did you do an announcement for like the bikini contest to just like, you know, let everybody know don't come up to the stage.
It wasn't a bikini contest. It was a costume contest.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The fact that most of the costumes were based on around a bikini, entirely different story. But yeah, no, I had to do that and stay up there for a while. And then basically it was like me and O-Dog heading over to the convenience store to get bottles of water and some beer. And then get on the microphone for the next, 4 hours while we were like, this is the updates. This is what we can expect. Blah, 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 blah. That was a pain.
Updating while the tsunami is on its way. Kind of like you're the band in Titanic.
Pretty much.
You look at O-Dog, you're like, it's been a privilege.
It's been a privilege.
Sharing a stage with you.
It's like, that song from Radiohead where whatever the flooding song from, I forget what it is, was playing on the air, and I'm like, dude, maybe we should not play this one. He's like, it's like, it was scheduled, whatever, I don't care.
It happens.
It happens.
That sounds like a epic poop. It's kind of
because I can't think of like anything on air that's ever really happened bad. Like I think because like for me being behind the scenes a lot, like missed spots I've done, by accident, or I've like the occasional wrong spot plays type of thing.
Do you ever have you ever done full live radio, like actual honest to God live radio, which is rare?
Everything's I've done. I haven't done that. I've only done just track stuff. So obviously, I mean, I think the word, like as far as experience wise goes, like as far as doing a radio gig, was actually following up on a gig for yours in Kapolei. You know that restaurant, but I'm not going to mention because they're no longer around, but they have another one somewhere else. But it was in Kapolei, and I covered for you on a weekend.
Was it Kamakana Ali'i?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It was, yep. It was that one.
The name of the mall. I can get away with saying
the name of the mall. It was a restaurant that was in there. Literally showed up, and like, let me tell you, okay, this is the experience it was. First of all, there's no microphones or anything there, no sound system to even talk of.
Thank God the band brought one when I was there, because otherwise we wouldn't have had one.
The night I was there was a one-man band. And so literally I had to kind of like use his stuff to say something. And I walked around to every table and passing out like stickers and whatnot, right? So I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. I get to talk to people, okay? And so that particular night, since it's in Kapolei, I have a lot of friends in the area. I was like, hey, come hang out, let's make it look good, this and
so
that.
You had an audience for this.
So I had people there, okay? Said restaurant ran out of food at 10 o'clock at night. Okay, they were supposed to have a late night menu of some sort. They ran out of food. Come back, you order food. Everybody was like, wait, chips and salsa or whatever. No, we don't have anything.
We have napkins.
We have napkins. We got straws. We got water. Alcohol. And I think they ran out of certain beers and stuff too at that time. Like, it was weird. They had specials that basically they didn't have any of the specials. So whatever was on special was not there anymore. It was like, okay. And then, can you go announce this? With what? I don't have a microphone to make announcements. Like, can you say this? With what? I don't have a microphone.
Yeah, we actually got but don't you bring that? It's like, no, you're supposed to request that. That's a request that you talk to the, like, I don't know if that was the sales or if it was the restaurant itself, but wildly unprepared, especially considering the fact that they were moving stuff out of the way specifically for entertainment. Yeah. Like, so you're not set up for entertainment at all, but you have like the space and the but no, I apologize. You might have had to do that, like, to cover for me, because I would, like, after that first one, I was like, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Because I went there within the first 30 minutes because the place was new, so I didn't want to hold this against them. But just to give you the feel of it, within the first 30 minutes, one individual, who I guess it must have been his first night ever as a busboy or waiter or whatever, broke like 4 or 5 glasses. So it was constantly sweeping up shards of glass.
So nobody can see all those glasses.
Yeah. The shards of glass in the middle of the restaurant.
Yeah.
a good third of the restaurant was blocked off for a band to play. But yeah, there was no audio. I had to use the band stuff. Fortunately, the band brought stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ran out of food. I'm just going to go ahead and say this much about it. I mean, we already said chips and salsa. It was a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
And so their whole thing was like, we have like, what was it, like $2 tacos or $1 something like that.
Yeah.
And you could choose from like 4 different kinds of tacos or something like that. Within the first hour, and we were there for like 2 hours more. Yeah. I mean, we were there for more than 2 hours because of setup and breakdown. Right, but I think we were actually there for 2 hours. Within the first 45 minutes to an hour of our shift being there, they were out of all the tacos. So I was like, well, do you have like the regular menu? And they're like, oh, no.
No.
Okay, so what do you have? Chicken fingers. Chicken fingers they had for the next 20 minutes. And that was it. And they expected people to just hang around when there was no food and like no drinks. And it was, yeah. That was just one of so many like that, though. I didn't get that one, but that was a good one. 720.
I was like, holy smoke! Is this for like? Are we on an episode? Restaurant Impossible?
Yeah.
Bar was a bar rescue or something? I was like, yo.
It was a new restaurant. It was a beautiful looking space.
The venue was nice.
Completely like.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Like they weren't even trying. I don't even know what that was.
Yeah, the venue is beautiful too, man. Such a shame. Yeah, it was. I was like, oh, you could do so much here. Like, for real. Like, it had potential, but...
It's rough walking into a place where you're like, yeah, we could build something here. And then you experience it, and you're like, I never want to be back here.
Yeah, just like...
We don't want to build anything here.
Yeah.
Shawn, have you ever had a bad one?
I didn't really do that much of the remote thing. I did one.
Mm-hmm.
It was at the D&B's for Oos Wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Those guys are cool.
Yeah. That was me and another dude. So you're set up downstairs when you go, and then you go upstairs. You know, I think it's the Paina room or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I got there, and it's pouring rain. I mean, not cats and dogs. It's rhinoceroses and
manatees. Manatees. Oh, yeah.
It was raining, and I was like, usually they have people lined up, over there, and we're supposed to be like, hey, you guys want to win a wrestler's jock or whatever. That didn't really happen. It didn't really happen. So I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do? I was like, I don't know. I'm going to pack up because it's raining. I was like, okay. And then I'm going to go upstairs and see if I can set up upstairs. When you go upstairs and where the game room is, it's like loud. And they have like video games going off, and that's where all the people were lining up to go inside there. So like, I'm like, okay, so I'm going to give away free tickets or give away tickets, give away prizes, but like they can't hear me. Why am I here? Like I joke around.
And it always kills me where it's like, hey, go there. And we have tickets to the event so people can come inside. And it's like, they're already here for the event. They already have the tickets.
Yeah, and it's sold out. So I'm like, I don't know who I can give extra tickets to so they can, put it on, on the wall.
Hey, family over there, do you really like whack-a-mole? Well, check out wrestling. Like,
here's a whack-a-mole, So.
Damn it, I almost did spit out my water on that one.
Whack-a-mole.
Sorry. So I went inside, and they're all wrestling, and it smells like a gym inside there. I'm sitting down, and I meet Aleki. He says, "Hey, bro, where you want to sit?" And I'm like, "Oh, I wasn't really gonna stay, because I'm like, why am I here in the first place?" So I was like, "Oh, I'm here for the radio." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, okay. Well, you can sit over here if you want." I was like, "Oh, all right, bro. Okay, bro, right on." So I'm like just sitting around, smelling the smells of the gym.
Sure.
Right.
Then I go outside, and the guy's just packing up. I can't remember what his name was. I think he was an Asian dude. Anyway, he was packing up the speakers and stuff. And I was like, I'm gonna go in like a little bit. I'm like, okay, me too, I guess. So like, it was just an awkward night.
Yeah.
I text my wife. I'm like, what the hell did I come here? It's like, because I needed the money, I guess. So like, yeah, it was an awkward. It was an awkward one. I didn't do that much remotes. Awkwardness in interviews brought us coming up, and like, same as what you said, Haz-Matt, like, so how long you been in the music business? A long time. Cool. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to? Is it like give a shout out to Monkey Boy?
Yeah.
And he's smiling in the microphone. I'm like, see your ass, dude. We had one of the celebrities, or like what was her name? I can't remember her name, but she sweared on air. And like, how come you do that to us, but you don't do it to the bomb or the Okumu or whatever? How come we gotta get the ghetto, side of the celebrity?
Why?
Yeah, pretty funny. Had a bunch, man. It was just like awkward when they would go out the door, and me and Augie would just look at each other, just like, what the AGLL happened over here? So yeah, it's fun because we get to talk, tell stories about it.
Right.
Yep. Oh,
It's
man.
awesome. Yeah.
Those always bothered me. Those all of those interviews where it's like, hey, we've got this person who's coming in, and yeah, it's. Have you had to do so? I mean, Shawn, it sounds like yes for you, but have you guys done interviews with people where you're like, I don't know them, or worse yet, I actively don't like what they do? Like maybe not them as a person I have something against, but I actively don't like what they do.
I think some of them were cool,
right?
But Taylor Dane, it was Taylor Dane that swore it on air.
Oh, really?
She looked good too, and she was like, "F my own," like, "Oh!" And I think we went like, "Oh!"
Wow, dang, Taylor.
I don't think we had people that come in and you're like, we don't know.
Yeah.
You don't like what they do because they're pretty cool. Right. I mean, the Ninja Turtle guy, Kevin Eastman. Come on.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy, one of my absolute heroes, all-time favorite people. He's so cool.
Yeah. Yep.
He was so cool.
But we have a lot of characters that came through, guys.
Yes. I can only imagine. Yeah, you guys probably had to have some fun with some characters. I remember like producing spots for people for some characters too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's always fun. Or you got to take like, okay, Donald, they're gonna do this, whatever. They're gonna talk the interview. You got to cut down the interview and stuff. Listening to the interviews, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's how it went. Alrighty then. Okay.
One of the weirdest ones was Mike Tyson calling in.
Oh.
And basically,
I would have loved to talk to Tyson. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. We did Mike Tyson, and it was so weird. I think he was stoned, maybe. We were asking questions, and he's like, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, Augie. And, Augie and him, the connection with boxing and all that. So he was telling, asking boxing questions and all that. I'm over here on the side like, this is Mike Tyson. And, like, yeah, it was just like, every time we asked him a question, he's like, he was like, okay.
You got to ask him about pigeons. Dude loves pigeons, I guess.
We did. But, like, he was just like, yeah, it is. I was like, okay.
Okay.
We had Bob Saget.
Nice.
Cool.
Dude, how'd you get all these? I would love to talk to Bob Saget.
I have no idea. It was we did, their interview. I learned that he's my father. He's my biological father.
Oh, nice. That
was actually a good interview. It was a really good.
I bet he seems like a really funny dude.
George Lopez.
Wow.
So yeah, we had some pretty good ones. We had some pretty bad ones. So all in all, it was just fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% fun.
Nice.
Did you ever make the mistake of swearing on the air?
Almost.
Yeah,
almost. But yeah, I was pretty cool about it because I went to Christian school, went to Hanalani school, so like can't really swear. We swear underneath our breath, but like yeah, like, that's what you gotta do. Swear.
Guilty. Totally did.
Oh.
On it's been years and years now, so I can actually say this again. This was back on the old 97.5. I was a producer for the morning show for a big long stretch, and there was this morning where we were all talking, just kind of shooting the breeze, and it's really rare when you can get that on the air. where it's like, we're not hype talking to each other and everything's clicking and going real good. It's just like a natural conversation that's engaging and interesting and funny.
It comes out.
That's what you want to have happen.
Yeah.
But you don't want to have the swear words come out. And to this day, I don't think I did. My co-host swears that I did, but we went around there and we went back and listened to it. There were about 5 F-bombs dropped in the course of this one 3-minute conversational segment. The only saving grace is, and this is an important thing, I don't know how true this is currently, but once upon a time at the very least, Safe Harbor ends at 6 a.m. and this happened right around 5:45 a.m. The other part of it is even during Safe Harbor you can get busted, but you really only get busted whether Safe Harbor or not if someone's A, listening, B, offended, and C, has proof that this happens. Now, that used to mean that someone would have to be recording your show. And that's very rare to have that happen. Yeah. However, it is now a thing where radio stations have to record all of the jocks. So like it's an automatic thing that whenever the mic is cracked or whenever a track goes live, that it's recording. So if someone calls and be like, I heard this at this time, it is incumbent upon the station to go looking for that thing. Ooh, man, we dodged a bullet because saying it once, again, I don't know what the current rates are. It used to be that if you got busted with like an F-bomb once, it was $5,000. The next time it was 10,000 and then 15, and it would just start to ramp up.
5,000. That was my year's salary in in radio.
It's pretty much
right there, man. Oh, that air longer, that's the one right there.
It's a good thing that when we did those interviews, we recorded it and we weren't live.
Yeah.
So, but the Taylor Dane one, that was
live.
Of course, the one.
Of course, the one. The one that would be live.
Oh God, when she said it, it was like, oh.
And you're thinking like Taylor Dane, really? Like she dropped that? Like what the?
She was looking fine too. I was like, man, girl. if I wasn't married. No, not really.
Yeah.
No.
And she had glasses on, just sunglasses on. Looked like she just before she came in, she smoked like a big doobie and all that. So she was all feeling the vibes, as the Mook say, she was feeling irie. Yeah, it was fun.
There is a chance we might get Greg on for a few minutes here.
Hey, let's go.
Hopefully he actually jumps on. We'll see.
Let's see what the manliest man was doing. Let's go.
God, no kidding. He better come in and be like, look, I built this entire 57 Chevy.
I know.
Using nothing but the strength of my own sexism.
My heart. You sound like
to weld.
Dragonheart.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Hey, oh. We need more Shawn.
Come on.
No. You know.
Hey,
here he is. Fresh from doing all the manliest man things there are.
Now we can officially start recording. Let's go. Okay.
We just did like 2 hours.
It took time for me to put the what do you call it, like the mascara and like rub it around, so it made it look like I was actually doing what I said I was doing.
Okay.
Hands and face dirty and run around the block to get sweaty. It's fine. Perfect.
Excellent.
What I missed?
Not much.
Not too much. Not too much.
About an hour.
Yeah.
No, we
just talking.
We're just shooting the breeze. I guess we were talking about horrible radio moments, like live events or anything like that.
Yeah.
So let's start with that one, since that was the most recent one. Do you have like any live events, like remotes or anything that you had to do, or an on-air experience that was just an absolute nightmare?
Oh, well, that's easy. That was my first. That's easy. That's literally my first night on the air by myself. That's the easy one. Yeah. So, first time on air by myself was on the bomb, and it was on a Saturday. I had a Saturday shift between myself and Keith, Killer Keith. Between the two of us, we'd have every other Saturday. So he had his first, there was like, okay, so rest in peace, Brendan Lee had done Saturdays, and then he kind of stepped back and said, hey, I want to give Keith and Greg a chance to do an on-air shift. So he stepped back, and then Keith and I switched off. So Keith did his first week right on, and also then my first time came up. And of course, because it's first time on air, even though it's a Saturday late night, which to me I thought was pretty prime, but obviously
it's not television, Greg.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, right on. And in my head, like, kind of psyching myself out because the PD at the time, Ryan Shawn, I knew would be listening at least to the first like hour, 2 hours, right? Or at least have it on, well, whatever the hell he's doing on Saturday, to make sure I wasn't like cussing on air or whatever, right? So I'm like, okay, easy, don't swear, read the liner and we'll be okay, right? So that week, Ryan calls me, he's like, hey, just so that it kind of helps you like give yourself a buffer, I want you to record your break in Vox Pro, which is kind of like this, voice recording app. And then it allows you to kind of insert sound effects, but also cut out and bleep out if you swear, right? So he's like, hey, record it all in. Then you can cut out any like ahs and, to make it sound a little more polished and make sure it's what you want it to sound like. And I'm like, all right, cool. Because then we had at that point, I think 2 breaks or 3 breaks an hour. So, that gives me at least 15, 20 minutes between each break to like, okay, I like this one, cool, and then play and whatever. So I get through like the first like hour, and then, again, the anxiety of the hotline flasher rings. So the hotline, right, is when you have your, the only program there, yeah. And people have the number, right? And because it's going on in the radio studio, especially if something's like emergency or whatever, they hook it up to a flasher. So like, instead of it just being the phone line ringing, it's like physically like, imagine like the building fire alarm, flash, strobe, right? So, and it's one of those, heart skip a beat, minor heart attack things. As soon as I done with the break, it's like, flash, and I'm like,
what did I do?
And, first of all, it's not even like, I forgot that it's not like a public line. I'm like, Bomb, hello. And then Ryan's like, okay, that's a good sign. You're answering the phone line, okay. And I'm like, yeah. Oh, yeah, right. And so, he's like, hey, calm down. Like, you still sound a little anxious, whatever. I'm like, okay. So then I do the next hour, and then that was okay, right? And then, cool. I'm like, okay, cool. I got this. I got a rhythm. So here's where it's like the horrible moment on air was, that channel that's associated with that application has its own volume control. And I'm trying to say this for layman terms, right? It has its own pod. And as I'm like, I get out of like my, second hour of breaks, and I'm like, okay, right on. And then I'm doing my third hour, and I realized I didn't have my mic hot. It was just recording into that voice box. So there's no problem or challenge of me like, oops, I left the mic on and I said something I wasn't supposed to say. But what I did leave on was the Vox Pro. So as I'm editing down what I'm saying and re-listening it to myself, whoever's listening is hearing like, Colby Adonis, what you got? And then there's 1027, 1027 bomb. And I was just like, holy crap. Like, and, biggest egg on the face, like kind of, and then right flasher again. And I'm like, and it's like, hey, I think you left the Vox Pro pod on. I'm like, So that's probably been the biggest one. And then as a secondary one, only because it didn't happen to me, I just happened to be in the studio when it happened. There was an unnamed jock who was swearing on air because we were watching like March Madness or something like that.
Oh.
And they forgot to turn the mic off. And we're watching the game, and they're like, F and A. And then he looks at the board, and the light is still on with the mic on, and the button is up. And then he's all like, and he like turns to me, he's like, "Did I say that loud?" And I'm like, "Kind of loud."
Yeah.
Like he didn't say it into the mic, right? But for those of you who also listen to radio and are not familiar, you hear those moments where it sounds like the effect of yelling in the background. It's literally us going, "Oh hell!" And you know, you yell against the wall.
All the microphones are directional, so if you face from a different direction, it just sounds distant, but it'll still be there.
It wasn't that. He was
said it right
in the direction, but he was maybe about 4 feet back. And again, you know, you turn your mic up kind of hot, so you're talking over the music, and then he was yelling at the thing, and so that might have been the other one. I'm trying to think. I mean, live events have been pretty okay, nothing super awkward. Only one was there was a fight that kind of broke out at a wedding I was emceeing, but that wasn't really an air or a live event thing.
Okay. One day we got to hear that story though, so keep that one.
Yes.
Put
keep that in your pocket. Yeah, keep that
one in your pocket. We got to hear about that one.
Excellent. All right.
Thanks.
Other than that, we were talking about who is sworn on the air, so I guess no for you.
Oh, that covers that. Yeah, not me.
I have. Everyone else is a good Christian lad, I guess.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Good Christian folk here. Yeah.
Well, wait, hold on. Swearing on air versus swearing and not getting caught on air. See, that just because we don't get caught doesn't make us Christians.
That's like we can edit the tracks before they go on. Like, okay, stop.
Oh man.
I had one that I was recording my gig. I was tracking my show, and what had happened is I didn't redo it, and it happened to be a moment that I was listening, like where I was, played Weekend, Kumu, and I was at my friend's house, and they happened, you know, like, you can listen to yourself, right? And so they had the radio on, and I remember, I don't know how this happened, but basically I was like, apparently I had done a bunk track. Like, it was like, that's not that great. I should go back and, you know, I need to redo it. But then I was like, never mind. I'm just going to move on. But I forgot to go back to it. So it was basically kind of like this, like how my half-ass breaks would sound like. It's like, 94.7 Kumu, Quiet Storm, blah, blah, blah. That was so-and-so. And that was it. That was the track. I literally, like in my head, the fart noise was my cue to like, I need to go back and redo that. But I forgot to go back and redo it. So I'm over here at my friend's house and we're talking, and I hear, 94.7 Kumu. And I was like, oh, crap.
Oh, God.
Oh,
man. As opposed to the rest of us, which made fart noises on purpose.
Yeah, we did that on purpose.
I do it all the time.
the quiet storm. Like what?
You want to know what the quiet storm sounds like?
Actually, wait, no. Quiet storm would just be a
quiet storm.
Creeps up on you. Like taxes.
Silent but violent.
Silent but violent. Oh, Lordy.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. What else did we talk about? We talked about best mic men in professional wrestling.
Oh.
Here we go.
God. Wait. Okay, and this is not me trying to like play whatever, but like we're talking best mic men as in like kind of overall ability to riff, you know, kind of work off of like random, you know, heckling, right? And then
not the best wrestler, just the best mic man and personality, like, promo cutter. That
straight kind of. Like who has. Okay, is it is it too cliche to say The Rock? Like, I mean,
no, that was
like,
actually,
I feel like,
was,
yeah. Because, okay, so, but I feel like best pipes, Kennedy. Like, I thought Kennedy literally had cool pipes. Like, how he sounded like, you know, because he had his own intro thing too, right?
yeah.
But, yeah, I thought he had a really good voice. And then I always enjoyed, you know, those sometimes on, they left them in, you know, not house shows, but they left them in the live shows. But, you know, when you have heckling and then, you know, you have those moments where like Heyman is mid promo and then, you know, somebody says like, you suck. And then like, not like your mom, you know, or whatever. Right. And he would just go right back into the promo, like that kind of stuff. Always like,
honestly, I completely forgot about Heyman, and that's ridiculous. He is, that man.
Heyman, yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Because as far as like, because I was thinking just flat out the wrestlers, but no,
But yeah,
Heyman,
Paul Heyman
is the guy. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also left out Bobby Heenan.
Bobby Heenan.
Come on.
Yes. Yeah.
Bobby Heenan.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy could make you hate him so much, man. He just knew how to make you mad.
You know what else I feel like? His character to me was like almost what King kind of had to follow in footsteps of, although I know, I'm sure, you know, Jerry the King Lawler was around for a lot longer, but I feel like how King was to JR, where he would be color commentary, not exactly calling to action, but just adding energy, you know, that kind of haha misogyny or, you know, that kind of thing. Woo-hoo, puppies, right? Like, but if you really look back, like Heenan was already doing that before, when it was like kind of, to me, I mean, man, as I feel really bad for all the guys now, especially Cole and any of the newer guys, where, right, in theory, McMahon is in gorilla position, yelling at you in your ear to like, say this, this, right? When, if you look back when McMahon, before he kind of created the persona of himself, and he was like, oh, I'm just like the announcer guy, it was very, oh, look at that maneuver. And I'm like,
leg drop from out of nowhere.
It was rather generic, you know? And maybe, you know, and so don't get me wrong, I don't think like Michael Cole is the best guy ever, but it is, I feel like, you know, imagine having to do your job or be on air, and while you're cutting, you know, while you're doing your break, having your PM or PD, okay, now say this thing, okay, now say something funny about this song to segue, you know, like, God, this feels so like
we did have a PD like that.
Not genuine, right?
I did have a PD like that, yeah. O-Dog and I had kind of mentioned him on the first episode, and like, he was just a nightmare. It's like, as a sign of respect, for the most part, DJs, even your boss, will get the hell out of the studio so that you can do your show as you. That is first and foremost what you should look for in a PD or a boss position in radio, if they're willing to leave the studio for you to do your job. They don't have to by any stretch, but just like to make that offer and be cool with it. This guy that I work with took over the morning show. And so since I was the producer of the morning show and like the third voice on it, me, the co-host, and then this new guy who wanted to come in and just take over everything.
Right.
He would sit there, and and we kind of talked about this, is that his thing was that he had a pen and he would hold it up and he wouldn't tell you what he was about to talk about, because that would ruin things.
Oh my goodness.
So he would launch into something, and then right as he would want to go to commercial, he wanted his show to be funny, which meant that he did the setup, and he would hold up a pen like a conductor, and then right as he was done with the setup, he would point at you. Someone would get that point. They would have to deliver something funny and reactionary instantly, and then cut to commercial.
Wow.
And we would sit there and be like, why are you pointing at us? Like there were so many things where it was like, and this guy did this, and he did it while drunk, and then he would point at us, and like me or my friend, the co-host, we would just go, "That sucks." Because we're like, "Well, tell us what you're gonna say so we can come up with something." And he's like, "Then it's not as funny." And I was like, "No, this is not as funny. What you're doing right here is just not as funny." He hated us. So, the purposeful fart noise. He hated us so much. He was the worst on-air personality and worst boss I think that I've ever had. And I've had some bad ones, and I'm more than happy to name names on a couple of them. One of the things we were talking about, Endo, was that when all 5 of us can be on again, like if we can get O-Dog on the next one, we maybe should consider how far we want to go into pipe bomb territory.
Oh.
To actually, what are the names that we can name? What are the things that we want? Because I don't want to call out specific people that are still out there and doing things, especially if it's, whatever.
Right.
But I do want to point out certain things and aspects of the business that are really dumb and infuriating. And there might be a name dropped, especially if they're not around anymore. Just saying.
Yeah, just saying.
But something to decide. Maybe episode 4 is going to be real good.
Maybe. We have to do, like I said, we might have to do that one at the bar.
Yep.
We're going to have to do that with some liquor. You know what I mean?
I'm okay with it. I ain't mad about it.
If we're doing timing-wise, then yes, a month from now should be perfect. Hopefully after Labor Day weekend, when we're able to actually physically go to an establishment like that.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, if people can stop being so damn dumb, I would very much like that.
Yes.
I'm one of those people now where it's like, if you're an anti-masker, I have no time for you. Like, there's nothing left to prove that you're an idiot. I don't know what to do. Yeah. And what bothers me as much as the anti-maskers are the people that are like, yeah, why is everyone being so dumb about it? And then they'll take off their mask and go in massive groups to the beach. Like, I just, I don't understand.
For a joke on Instagram, I was like, because I think back maybe a couple months, it was up to 902 cases of COVID. So I'm like, come on, Hawaii, we can make it to 1,000. Come on, you dummies, we can do it. And then all of a sudden, there's one day, and my wife was like, cases up to 999. I'm like, oh. And then
Shawn, you galvanized us a little too well. You're a little too good of a cheerleader, because I think aren't we pushing 2,000, or did we top it?
No, we passed 2.
We passed
We're at like 2.5 or something today.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
Thanks, Mom.
Sorry I caused all that cold.
Thanks, Shawn.
Thank you, Shawn.
Yeah, you're welcome. Shawn. Friendly neighborhood manatee here.
Just going to float in like, hey, everyone should get the disease. And then just kind of beat
guys.
Everybody. Yeah. So we don't have to worry about it. Like, okay, Tommy got it.
Everybody got it. Now we can all congregate together.
No more updates. No more whatever. Hey, let's purge it, bro.
Purge them.
Purge it.
Purge them. Oh, no, goodness.
Anyway. So fix your car, Endo?
Hold on. This is a gratuitous thing nobody needs to actually care or see about. But let's see if I can turn this thing down. Hold on. How do I? No, wait.
Are we about to launch an OnlyFans? What are you doing?
Yeah, I know. Right.
No.
I see a hammer.
For those of you who are not mechanically inclined, my flux capacitor is out of whack, so I needed to readjust it.
Right.
Yeah, just throw a few banana peels into the Mr. Fusion. You're all good.
Yeah.
Or
but before I did that, I made sure, speaking of banana peels, that there were no bananas in the tailpipe.
Yes. No banana in the tailpipe. Don't fall for that.
Good.
Don't fall for that.
Yep.
Don't ever fall for the banana in the tailpipe.
Speaking of made up stuff with cars, once upon a time, I think I need to listen to it at least once to get the hang of it again. But at some point, we're talking about Rap Replinger, right? Yeah. He had that one skit where he's BSing the guy, right?
Yeah.
and he was like fully making up like parts and stuff like that.
The gorilla on the phone over there to 250 degrees, and we rip out the bill of tailor curl. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
That's it. That's all.
That's all. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, good thing was in my car.
Was in my car. Yep.
Yeah. The best one. In the beginning, it's pretty funny. Like, Bobby, what you doing? There's all fixing the car. No, what's wrong with it? Oh, the bugger no move.
The bugger no move. Yeah.
He's like, simple. Give me the wrench. See, 45. Yeah, right. Shut up.
Yeah. Astro Hanotator.
Yeah. And you can hear like him ripping them out. It's like an aluminum like can or something. It's like,
oh yeah, and it's like wrenches and stuff. Like the sound effect. Yeah, it's like falling on the ground. It's like, okay, and we throw them away.
Yeah. Ting. Then we explorate. Oh God, I can go on and on about that crap.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
Love rap.
Rap Ninja. That's the man right there, bro.
So you were fixing the car, and that's all with
yeah.
Head?
Yeah. No, exactly. When I'm going through this thing, that's exactly
better check that blinker fluid while you're over there too, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Can't be too low. Can't be too low on that blinker fluid.
There's one that I've seen, like a dad send his like, elementary school age daughter into O'Reilly's to ask for like light bulb grease or something.
Oh, yeah. That's
and then blinker fluid, right?
Oh, that's
and then so like the video just starts with like the dad in the car, and then the girl is like storming out of the store and laughing, and she's like, "They said there's no such thing as blinker fluid." Fully doing that to my kid.
Oh my God, poor kid.
Fully doing that to my kid.
Poor kids.
I'm trying to remain suspiciously silent because I don't know about cars. I do know there's no blinker fluid, but
yes.
Yeah,
not much more than that.
Yeah. No.
I hate it when you go to Jiffy Lube and like you tell them okay the oil change whatever and all that, and they go check it and they come to you it's like you get one big leak underneath over there. What do you do? They make you feel bad like what you did. I'm like, I'm here just the oil change. Why you gotta give me crap for something I didn't do? It's the car.
I was four-wheeling over some lunar rocks when I was on the moon.
Yeah.
Like, it's not my problem what I do in my life that you gotta come up to me and tell me what I gotta do.
Well, I gotta haul them dead bodies. I gotta take them all back and store them, but I can't just dig them on the side of the road.
I'm already 5-6 mechanics deep who tried to short sell me on stuff. I don't know.
I gotta take them
Middle to Bishop Street ain't that close. I gotta go over there and I gotta track on my weekends and I get paid $1 for
kind of point and.
I have to come around kind of point to Camp Erdman, bro. Let me tell you.
Camp Erdman.
All you have to do all you got to do is tear up the underside of your car is basically drive Malka on Ward Avenue, and that's pretty much it.
Shoot.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Yep.
Anywhere near White Camilo too. I think potholes for days around there.
Oh yeah. That's still and all the rails coming into town, so it's only gonna get worse. Actually, if you drive out like Waipahu is better, Aiea is better because they all finish the pylons and the railway, so it's actually not bad anymore.
Yeah, but you hit
they
those
put nice design on top of the pillar.
The pillar, yeah.
If you look closely, it looks like two people oofing.
Are you sure that's a sanctioned design that's up there? Or is that just
probably the guy doing like, hey, check this out, bro. I'll go make
that's like the hidden picture. The hidden picture. I'm like,
you kind of cross your eyes, like not all the way, but just like so, like 4 dots become 3 dots. Like you can see it.
Oh yeah.
Just gotta make your eyes relax.
I was actually going to drop some legit knowledge on that because I happen to know a little bit about that, but no, we'll go with
Endo's about to know. Let me science that shit real quick. Yeah.
No. The general verbiage I'll put to that is they are supposed to attach to the Ahupua'a story of wherever it's running. That's all. But I'm sure in some Ahupua'a, people throwing at some point, so it's not like that's untrue.
You gotta perpetuate the people. That's why.
It's like one auntie and fan looking. Oh, look, it's the story of the Ahupua'a over there. You can see it. was going too fast, Aaron. Don't worry. We're going to look at him one more time.
Gotta stop the car, hop out there.
Yeah, exactly. Put the hazard.
Take one selfie by the
Slow down. Slow way down.
The pillar is gonna be like the new Vegas sign or something, huh?
Yeah.
Check on me, bro. About a pillar. Third pillar, bro. Third pillar.
Oy.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's yeah. Okay. But
all right.
Much, Greg. Yeah.
So, should we wrap this up? We're gonna do this again here pretty quick.
Yep.
All right. So look for episode 4, and we will drag O-Dog into this kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but we got to make this happen.
No, like I said, we don't have to drag him nowhere. We're taking the show on the road.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
go
take the show to him.
Hey, if that's what we got to do, that's what we got to do. I'm fine with it. Let's just make it happen.
We'll go to his house or something.
All right. Sounds good, guys. Thank you very much.
All right.
We'll see you again.
Later, guys.
Yeah.
All right, there you have it. Episode 3 of the ALTcast. Look for episode 4 coming up soon. Until the next of many, aloha.